All right, good to see you guys. Now, when I left you guys yesterday, I had mentioned that I wanted to talk a little bit about something in Chapter 1, okay? And this is what I want to talk about. Now, they talk about some of the different type of communication, of course, what communication is, that kind of thing. And, of course, they do list some of the ones that we're going to cover, including small group communication, interpersonal, intrapersonal is actually communicating within oneself. What a lot of you are doing when you're sitting there and then that little fat Italian gets up and says, "When I call your name, tell me that you are here." Okay. But one of the things I want to talk about today is there are several different models of communication that are in Chapter 1. But the one I like is called the interactive model. Now, I've always liked the interactive model because I always thought that I don't want to come too far. There we go. The interactive model really does demonstrate how quickly and easily the communication process can work. Now I'm going to draw the model here. It's going to take me a few minutes. I forgot that whole I before E, except that I always get that confused. All right. So the communication model, interactive model, that is this. You have a sender. The sender creates a message and sends that message to a receiver. The receiver then assigns some meaning to it and then sends feedback to the sender. And if it's the feedback that the sender is looking for, then the communication is both successful and satisfactory. Let's say, for example, if I suddenly, drop my marker and I ask someone to pick it up for me. I say, "Excuse me, could you pick that up for me, please?" And they reach down to pick it up. Well, that's quite simple, okay? As a matter of fact, the sender is me sending a message to the receiver. "Could you pick that up for me, please?" The receiver, before even touching the marker, as they go ahead, before even saying a word, start to reach down and pick up the marker. Just reaching for the marker itself demonstrates that the receiver understood my message. I've received the feedback I'm looking for. The communication is both successful and satisfactory. Sometimes it doesn't take but 2 to 3 seconds. Maybe the next time we're in class and we actually have to have a real lecture and you start cracking out your notebooks if you don't have like a laptop or something, and you realize you showed up to a college classroom without something to write with, you may ask the person next to you, "Excuse me, you got a pen or pencil I can borrow?" A lot of times, without even hesitation, they start to reach into their bag. Before their hand even goes into the bag, just the idea that they're starting to reach into the bag tells you that they understood your communication, you got the feedback you're looking for, this communication is both successful and satisfactory. Even if they don't find a pen. All right? At least they understood your original message and started reaching into the bag. So communication sounds pretty simple, right? Well, then why do those two phrases I can't stand always popping up? Miscommunication and lack of communication? Well, it has to do with trying to get through these squiggly lines. And these squiggly lines represent something pretty simple. Anything that disrupts the sharing of meaning is noise. Now, it's sometimes referred to as interference, but it's just noise. Anything that disrupts the sharing of meaning is called noise. Now, let me give you 3 types of noise that they talk about. The first type, of course, is physical noise. Okay? Now, physical noise is exactly what you think it is. If I'm talking to you and suddenly, somebody outside my door is like, "Heckles, heckles!" and they're banging on the door and you can't hear a word that I'm saying while they're banging on the door, yes, that would be an example of physical noise. But remember, anything that disrupts the sharing of meaning can be physical noise, as long as it affects the sender getting a message through to the receiver. Now, I'm going to give you a scenario, the one that I talk about in your assignment sheet. Here's the scenario. 14-year-old Billy comes home from school. He immediately goes up to his room, closes his door, turns on his stereo. The kid's the only one left in Bergen County who loves Nickelback, but he doesn't care. He's going to blast Nickelback. He don't care who hears. Well, now his mother realizes after hearing Nickelback that her son is home. So she then calls up to the stairs. She says, Billy, come down here and take out the garbage. No answer. Billy, come down here and take out the garbage. Still no answer. Billy, come down here and take out the garbage. Again, no answer. Billy, come down here and take out this garbage. Nothing. So she storms up the room, bangs on his door. He flips open the door and says, what are you banging on my door for? And she says, well, I've been calling you for the last 10 minutes. Well, I didn't hear you. And you suddenly have this rise in tension and this conflict created simply because one or the other failed to remove the physical noise. Now, in that scenario, there's 3 types of physical noise. Remember, anything that disrupts the sharing of meaning, I want you to tell me in the first part of your assignment sheet the 3 parts of physical noise in the Billy scenario. Now, another type of noise is psychological noise. Whereas physical noise occurs outside of you, where does psychological noise is? Yeah, right in here, okay? There might be nothing but silence around you when someone comes to talk to you. But if something's going on up here, I'll give you a great example. How many times have any of you tried to speak with someone? Oh, God. I do that all the time, people. Get used to it. I had 2 words, talk and speak, and they both came out at the same time. How many times have you ever tried to speak with someone the very next day after they've been dumped by their boyfriend or girlfriend? It's not easy, right? Now, you could say to them, hey, listen, I'm going to leave now, but I'll be back, and then we'll go somewhere. And they're like, okay. And you'll come back an hour later, so you're ready to go? And they're like, go where? Even though you probably told them exactly where you were going to go, they're oblivious. Okay? Nothing is registering because there's so much going on up here. Either A, how could that person do this to me after everything I've done for them? Or B, how can I slash their tires without them knowing it's me? But otherwise, they're not registering anything. That's psychological noise. But I'll give you another example. And unfortunately, it happens to a lot of my colleagues. And you are on the bad end of this stick. Let's say, for example, and I know the couple of you actually have this this semester, which good for you that you have like 2 classes back to back. Okay, so let's say our class is either at 11 o'clock or at 1:45. So let's say you have a class right before that. Okay, for you 11 o'clock people, it would be from 9:30 to 10:45. For you 1:45 people, it would be from like 12:20 to 1:35. Okay, so now you get to class right when it first begins, and you sit down and you're ready to go. Okay, I get my notebook out, and then of course class starts and you're taking notes and you're really into it. Well, now we get to about 5 minutes before class is going to end. All right. Now you start to take things and put them away. Start putting them in your book bag. Maybe if you have a jacket, you start to pull your jacket on. Now it's 2 minutes before the class is going to end. Now, not only have you put your book bag back on your back, now you're starting to turn. Because you know you only got about 10 or 15 minutes to get to your next class, so you're ready to go. And then let's say it's a class that's supposed to end at 10:45. At 10:44 and 58 seconds, just as you're ready to bolt for the door, one of my beautiful, lovely colleagues says to you, wait, don't leave yet, one more thing. And they go on for another 3 or 4 minutes. Now, during that time, how much of what that person is saying are you actually comprehending? Nothing. Because what's going on inside here? Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I gotta run to my next class. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Come on, shut up. I gotta go to my next class. I can't be late for his class. He's gonna kill me. Shut up, shut up. And then finally you hear them like just hint at the fact that class is over, and boom, you're out of the class like a bolt of lightning, running to make sure you're not late for your next class. But you didn't comprehend anything in that last 3 or 4 minutes. So why they decided to keep you late, I have no idea. You're full of psychological noise. And then finally, There's physiological noise. Now, where does that noise come from? Who are my science majors? Huh? Physiological noise comes from the body. Okay? For example, we get into that like cold and flu season, and I love when a student will show up to class and they'll look something like this. No, Eccles, I didn't want to miss your class. So I'm like, why don't you just... You got a couple of absences you can use. Why don't you... Yeah, I'll be okay. And then they go and they sit down, and typically in the front row. I can't breathe. And you could see, there's like this grapefruit-sized ball of snot right here in their sinus cavity. And it's like, you're not listening to anything. Okay? Or, of course, if you're getting to class and you get here just in time, and then all of a sudden, oh! And you just stubbed your toe. And now you sit down. Throb, 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 throb. Oh my God, my toe is broken. And you're not listening to anything that I'm saying. All right? But my favorite, of course, when you talk about physiological noise, is those of you who get like those, who come to class with like a 24 or 36 ounce mochiata, right? And then of course at the end of the class you're finished with it. But what's the first thing you want to do when class is over? That's right, the little boys and little girls room. And as you're walking down the hallway to go to the little boys and little girls room, who do you see? Hey, I haven't seen you since we graduated high school. How are you? How have you been? Hey, have you seen such and such? Hey, we were hanging out down the shore last week. And of course, what are you doing? Oh yeah. No, I remember. Yeah, we'll see each other. And of course, you're not comprehending anything they're saying. Okay, because your body's just telling you, potty, potty, potty. Of course, I say potty. My daughter's 4 years old. Potty, potty. And that's physiological noise. So, the second part of your assignment is I want you to come up with one of each. You read. You can see the assignment sheet. So you got part one is the Billy scenario, and part two are coming up with examples of the three types of noises. All right? And this is due by Sunday night, 8 p.m. in my email box. If it comes after 8 p.m., it ain't no good. So get that done, and we will see you on Wednesday.